Two Jews, both big and tall, no subject too small for the good guys. A Mother's Dream premium podcast team, make it your weekly routine. It's a Good Guys. And if you don't give us 5 stars, what are you nuts? What are you nuts? Yeah, we're the good guys, we're not the great guys. We're just so good guys. Whoa.
Morons and Morons, welcome back to the Good Guys podcast. I'm sitting here with a guy who doesn't wear all black because it's slimming. It's because he's dead inside. It's Ben Soffer.
And I am here with a queen that needs no introduction, Jojo Siwa. The braid is braiding. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to have you.
Of course. Thank you both for having me. When you texted, I was like, absolutely. It's literally not even a question. Hello?
Jojo, you are. Can I just have a moment?
Take your moment.
About Jojo.
Take
Jojo
your moment.
Siwa.
Take your moment.
I am so fucking bullish on Jojo Siwa, and I don't care who knows
Stop.
it. I am
Thank you.
such a fan. You know, when we were both doing YouTube years ago.
Yep.
And
rest in peace, that era.
God bless.
Take me back.
It was a good time.
Like, I think all the time, I'm like, what I would give to just have 2018, like, have all my friends teach me how to drive, like, do absolutely nothing again. Like, so good.
Yes.
So good. Take me back.
We miss the AdSense. And
so much.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk money. Money's awesome.
Oh, money's the best.
Let's go in. We're hype on money.
We're in it already. We're in it already.
And I remember we were going to record a video together, and obviously I was aware of your greatness. But there were some kiddos in my life at the time because I didn't have kids. But our good family friends, their daughters were like 6 and 9, and so they were like right in your demo at the time. And so when we were shooting the video, I said, Jojo, would you mind, like, and I feel awful and weird asking.
Yeah.
You made them a video, their heads exploded when they saw it. It was so amazing and generous. You gave them a bunch of swag.
Of course.
You told me a line about your merchandise that haunts me forever.
What did I say?
You said, I have merchandise on every continent except
Antarctica.
There's no Walmart in Antarctica.
Yep. We're on 6 out of 7.
That is such a power move.
Isn't that
so
crazy?
Good.
It's wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
But can we do a pop-up in Antarctica? Because this don't sit right with me.
We just need to go sell one. Like, I need to take it there manually, go door to door, like, knock, knock, knock. I mean, there's like 40 people there total, but someone will buy it.
Yes.
That's like a Mr. Beast video waiting for you.
No,
like if you go to Mr.
literally.
Beast and say, take me to Antarctica because I don't have any merchandise there and I want to sell it door to door, it's a sponsorship waiting to happen.
Honestly, Jojo Siwa X Feastables is waiting. There we go.
Yes. Oh my God.
Wow.
Let's get the big stuff out of the way first, because I feel like you have these moments where you're just like, you know, whether it's a new song or you're crushing music, it's like you get really into this thing and it becomes your
Life.
Yeah. Like where's life at right now?
I when I deep dive into something, like, I'm committed. Like, I'm in. I embrace it and I make it. I almost like immerse myself in it. Right now I'm immersed in my future music. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot. There's a lot of songs. I made a one file that has all my songs in it that are future, and it's a 47-minute file. And so I'm right now so immersed in that world. I'm also immersed in the world of selling my house, which is a lot of fun, and buying a new house, which is a lot of fun. So,
what
like,
are we thinking? Take us through it.
Okay, so it all started because I found this beautiful home that I'm absolutely obsessed with, like, would put the offer in on tomorrow. But I have my house, and it's...
But you're like, Buckingham Palace is taken.
But
I can't afford it.
Unfortunately, Garden Ridge, you can't have it. But, so no, this house, it's in Encino, it's beautiful. But I have made the responsible choice to not have 2 real estate properties right now. I mean, look, I could lease it out, but where I'm at right now, it doesn't make much sense to do that. So I made the responsible choice to sell mine first and then go by after it sells. But we're literally like, this is like, I found out yesterday that we're staging it on Friday. So I found out yesterday, like, get your shit out. Like, that's been kind of immersed. My love life's great. I'm super personally happy. My family's great. They're happy. They make me happy. My friends are great. They make me super happy. I'm in like train mode right now where I just am like training left and right. I just got back from Australia with performances over there, so that was a ball.
And what does that look like when you're performing in Australia? Are you doing like massive venues?
So
like,
fun.
What's the show look like? Take us through.
So right now it's actually like tiny festivals, which are so fun. They're so intimate. It's like Pride Fest basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we did one in Melbourne. We did a 7-song set. Honestly, the stage is like as big as this room. Like it's tiny. It's me and my 6 dancers. I played the drums for the first time, which was really fun. I think there was like 3,000 people, which like when I was on tour as a kid, it was 17,000 a night. So it's like, it's definitely much smaller, but it's like that intimate vibe is actually something that I love so much. And like candidly, actually, not candidly, confidentially, but I'm saying it live on a podcast, who cares? Being in Australia and doing that said performance, I did another one over there, TikTok Awards. That was awesome. It was TV, TikTok. It was fucking great. But the first performance, the Pride Fest one that was in Melbourne, being in that intimate venue actually made me have an idea to create a show that I could do over and over again multiple times on a tour sort of thing that isn't a big concert tour. It's something else. And it gave me this idea, and we've been working through it now, and I have my first like, hey team, here's what we're doing call on Thursday. So in 2 days from now. Like I'm like, it was good. It was a good clarifying trip, and it like gave me some good ideas, which is nice.
How big is the Jojo Siwa team?
It's actually fairly smaller than you would think. I have my mom, who's my right-hand man. I have my publicist, Bill. I have my management. My management team's pretty big. I'm with 724. And so we got Cade, Larry, Claire, and then like the group chat has like 7 or 8 people in it. Don't know everybody, but there's a lot of them. But Cade, Larry, and Claire are the main ones. And then I have my agency, CAA. I have my attorneys, my lawyers. We love them. And then I have my financial team, my financial advisors, and my videographer, Cam, my choreographer, Richie. But really, that's it. Because like hair and makeup wise, I do on my own. Wardrobe, my mom does. It's like we keep it very, very in house.
You don't need to hear from me how impressive you are, but like you are.
Oh,
and
stop.
Just like super cool, down to earth, but also just
Thank
like
you.
a superstar.
Thank
And like
you.
it's funny that you say that you like those smaller shows. That means that you're a great performer. Smaller shows are harder than bigger shows.
They definitely
like
are.
the bigger shows, you're not like looking at one person in front of you, right?
Right.
Like those small rooms, like everybody's listening to you.
Yeah, they're hard to satisfy too, because it's like if the vibes are just off, they're off. Like you can't kind of change it.
Totally.
But I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. And this pivot into music, everybody's been fascinated by it. I'm sure that everybody asks you these questions, but like this is just your life's dream, right? Like this is the passion project. This is what you've been gunning for.
It is. It's interesting. Like we're at a point right now where I'm literally doing it because I enjoy it. Like I enjoy messing with the world. I enjoy singing what I want to sing. I do it all so I can perform on a stage. But it really is my passion. Like I love it. And like I recently had a friend come into my life that got to know me outside of my career for a while before they saw me in my career element. And the second that they saw me on stage for the first time, they were like, they were saying like, I'm going to be a little tripped out. Like, I know you as this like chill, like Joel Siwa. Joel's my real name. And then they were like, whereas most people see you as Jojo Siwa and then get to know you as Joel. And I was like, yeah, no. I was like, I'm excited to see like what you think. And it's funny, like I came off stage and they were like, you are literally meant to be up there. Like when you are on stage, it is so clear that is where you are supposed to be, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. And that, like, I don't know, it melted my heart a little bit because I was just like, somebody else sees it.
I think that you played it so right. Like I remember when you like first dropped Karma, it was like so jarring. And if it wasn't so jarring, then you couldn't have made this pivot as seamlessly as you are. Like if you like slowly went into it, they would be thinking of the older version of you, and now we're just thinking of you in the moment.
Thank you.
Whether that was you, whether that was your team, whoever it was, I think it was like a genius transition.
It was
Talk about that.
No,
Yeah.
I actually I had to fight a lot of people on it. My team did not agree with me on it at the time. I was signed to a label, and they did not agree with me on it. And
what did they want you to do?
So you know how Karma, there was another song that we had that they wanted to be released first, and I didn't. I was like, no, it's Karma, 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 and they were like, no. And I was like, yes, and then I was like, all right. Then this was 2 years ago at this point. Anyway, so then once I got the green light for Karma, I came up with the idea. I wanted to make the video, and they were like, we don't have the funds for this video. And I was like, great, all good, I do. And they were like, no, like, don't put your money into this. And they were like, no. I was like, no, I want to. Like, I want to. And they were like, no, don't. And I was like, I am. Get on board or not. Like, it's all good. And
have you always been that strong and secure with your instinct?
Yeah. And, like, I don't know. I think I just, from being in it so young, I've learned from a young age, like, at the end of the day, like, I don't get to run away from being Jojo Siwa. Like, everyone else who works with me goes home at night and like forgets about it and like has their life, but for me, like, it is my life, you know what I mean? I am, in the best way possible, stuck with it. And so I have to make sure that, like, when I fall asleep at night, I'm 100% satisfied in the choices. And like, that also, something I'm really big on is that puts me in a position of power, right? And one thing when you're in a position of power is you can't abuse it. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, is they make choices just because they can, or just because they want to be right. You know what I mean? But I've learned from a very young age. Actually, my stage manager taught me. He said, I have the credential card. And I said, what does that mean? And he said, well, your face is on everybody's credential. So if you don't get what you want, you can say, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing the show. And then you'll get what you want, because we can do the show without anybody else. We cannot do it without you. And I was like, damn, okay. And so, but I've always known that I can't abuse that power, because then it's unhealthy. You know what I mean?
This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by Quip. Folks, what was your oral health and routine like before you started using an electric toothbrush? I know it definitely was not as good as it is afterwards. And the best electric toothbrush on the market is the Quip 360. Now, people on our sister podcast, The Toast, people being my wife and her sister Jackie, you know, they had something to say about my dental hygiene. Now, whether that's true or not true, it's not true. You can't believe everything that you hear. The Quip 360 has put me in a routine like I've never been in before. We're talking morning, night, sometimes in the afternoon, because it's just that easy. The new Quip 360 oscillating toothbrush literally revolves around you. Finally, an electric toothbrush that doesn't overcomplicate the most basic daily ritual. Quip 360 is a bold, simple design that comes in multiple colors and is ultra quiet for a super clean without being super annoying. Thank God. Accepted by the American Dental Association, Quip 360 is scientifically proven to remove up to 11 times more plaque between teeth compared to a manual toothbrush, and provide up to 2 times more whitening on day one. If you don't absolutely love your Quip 360, return it for free within 30 days. If you do love it, brush easy, knowing you get a free lifetime warranty for purchasing on getquip.com and the opportunity to subscribe to refill heads by mail every 3 months, so you never have to go to the store. Just for listeners of Good Guys, get 20% off site-wide and a free travel case and a countertop stand at getquip.com/goodguys. Free your mouth today and save 20% site-wide, plus a free travel case and countertop stand at getquip.com/goodguys. getquip.com/goodguys. This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by Robinhood. With Robinhood Gold, you can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. The privileges of the very privileged are no longer exclusive. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%, plus you also get 4% APY on your cash in non-retirement accounts. That's over 8x the national savings average. The perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive your 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 per month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to robinhood.com/boost. over 8x the national average savings account interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Was there ever a scenario where you listened to the Suits or
Yes.
the team and you were like, I'll never do this again?
Yes, twice in a row, back to back, just now. And
Do you want to say more?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can. What's the best way to word this? Because yes, I do. Okay, I can. We just released a song, Iced Coffee. And right now, I just released a song, Iced Coffee, I should say. There's not really a we. It's definitely a me. It does all fall on my shoulders. I do have at the time I was signed to the label. Anyway, so I wanted this song to come out, boom, drop overnight. It's a scandal. Jojo hasn't been posting. Now this song's out. What the fuck's happening? And that was kind of the idea behind putting out the song. But then, no, because you got to do 2 weeks of TikTok promo before. And I was like, typically, yes. I was like, but in this case, no. And then, I always say, pick the hill you want to die on. And the choice was either not release at all or do the 2 weeks of pre-roll on TikTok. And I was like, it's just not going to make when the song comes out, it's not going to make the effect that it would have. And what do you know? Who ended up being right? I did. But in the end, no one knows or cares about that story that if it would have all happened at once, I think it would have had a little bit better of a chance of success. And I think it did great, and I'm super happy with how it did, and it made a little bit of a stamp, and it's funny, and who cares? But I think at the end of the day, it would have, if we would have done it fully my way, and I would have stood my ground and been like, no, this is the plan, this is what's happening. I think it would have resulted better. Going back to Karma, though, I actually like the Suits, quote unquote. I love calling the Suits the Suits. The Suits, quote unquote, wanted me to actually wanted me to edit out the Black Beast, the iconic Karma look with the makeup and the black costume and the wild and that beast look. And after we got the video back, they said that look isn't pop star and that's not gonna work. And I was like, hello? I was like, that's the one thing that is gonna work.
Yeah, you went to Vassar. What do you know about that look as pop star, dear?
Hello?
That's my angle.
version, yeah. And so then whatever. They actually, after then Karma was released and that Black Beast look is what took off and the dance is what took off, they actually did have a conversation with me look, we were wrong. And we're gonna give you your flowers and we're gonna say that we were wrong. And I was like, thank you. Thank you for acknowledging it. I do appreciate that.
They're always wrong, right? Because they're always taking a one-size-fits-all approach to somebody who is naturally viral. You're viral because you know how to go viral. You mentioned before in passing, you love sort of playing with the public.
Yeah.
You love playing with the world.
Well,
you know how to do that.
Yeah, and I definitely, I have my own specific game. You know what I mean? It's funny. One of my friends told me, because right now there's the trend of ignoring, right, on the internet. Have you seen this trend?
No, tell me.
Okay, so basically,
I have.
somebody posted this TikTok.
I'm on cholesterol meds. I don't know everything going on social media.
And honestly, lucky you. I know you would rather probably not be on them, but lucky you about the social media part.
Big fan. Crest store.
Yeah, perfect.
When
I need them.
At the time, you know who to text.
I got you. Got you. You got me, actually.
I'm not pushing when you're ready.
Anyway, so this girl posted this video, what if we just started to ignore celebrities and just see what happens? And that video blew up and all of the comments were let's get Jojo Siwa first. And so the point was to not like my video, right? Not like my videos. Well, I was able to use this to my advantage because I have the new song out. So I was like, heck yeah, I'm gonna post the new song, right? And in 4 days, it got 80 million views on TikTok. Now it got 100,000 likes, which is a horrible like to view ratio. I mean, you're talking 80 million views, you're talking 100,000 likes. That's less than 1%. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's essentially nothing. Is that math correct?
Yeah.
Yes, but likes don't make you money.
800,000 would be 1%.
Exactly.
So it's a fraction of a percent.
Two child actors trying to do math. Hilarious.
it's
carry the three and
no, it's literally 0.0
Yeah, not good.
1.4%. Like it's like literally nothing. Like it's very low. But what I will say is there's still 80 million views. And there's still, the comments have hundreds of thousands of likes. The top comment had like 600,000 likes. Like there's definitely a game being played right now. And it's funny because what somebody said is they were like, you love to play with the internet, but the second that you backed off and said, I'm not posting anymore, all of a sudden the internet made their own game with you because you weren't playing the game anymore with them. So they made their own with you. And I was like, that's an interesting perspective on it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely in a very unique situation, right? Because I never played a character when I was young, right? I always like, you for example, like, and also too, like they used your real name, which I think has to be such a trip because like you were playing a character, right? But
Sure.
in a way you were also using your own name, which was, that had to be kind of trippy as a kid, no?
I'm weirdly thankful for it now that when people do call me out on the street, they're like, hey, Screech. You know, they're not like,
Yeah.
hey, Zeppelin.
Totally.
You know, like that I am thankful
Yeah.
for. But you're right.
Screech.
It was R.I.P. But it was a character that
Yeah.
wasn't, and so of course people had an expectation.
Yeah, and then also like from your perspective, you got to grow up and then be who Josh Peck was. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
you got to kind of break away from that character. Whereas in my position as a child star, right, I never really played a character. I played a more elevated, more entertaining version of myself, but it wasn't a character. You know what I mean? Like no one wants to see me sit in my car and be silent, but everyone wants to see me sit in my car and be like, it's my first time driving. You know what I
Was
mean?
that ever exhausting?
No, I mean, I loved it. Still do to the day. Like, I mean, yes, it's exhausting, but like not to a point where I didn't want to do it. You know what I mean? It was always me wanting to do it. It was never a team behind me being like, you have to post. It would be being like, okay, stop giving me an idea. Like, I have it myself. I have my next 50 ideas planned. Like, this isn't how this works. You know what I mean? Wow. Yeah. I was psycho as a kid
And how, like,
in a good way.
well, how do you manage that? Because to your point, when you are playing with the audience, there's going to be people that are your diehards. There are people that are going to love it, and then that equation only works where there are people who don't love it.
Yeah.
And do you take
It's
any of that
interesting
in?
because right now I definitely have more of those. I have more people who are against than are for. And my thing is like, look, I was put on this earth. I look at it from a couple different ways. There's a couple different perspectives that help me. And number one, I was put on this earth to entertain. Whether that means people like it or don't like it, they are entertained by it. It is, whether it's a positive or a negative, it is successful. You know what I mean? And I definitely, I like that. Like a lot of people say they don't like Karma, yet they'll come to a concert with the makeup on. You know what I mean? They
Know the
know the
words.
dance. They can sing the song. And so it's like, thanks, babe. Thanks for not liking it. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. But then this also gets a little more morbid, but and dark. But it actually helps me a lot. Like I think that, like, say Emily, right, Emily's my imaginary friend from when I was a kid, so I always use her name. She doesn't care.
Is she here with us now?
Oh, she's always with me. She's always here. Hey, Emily, we love you.
Get her a
queen.
seat. Olivia? No, I'm kidding.
Come on. She's like tucked in.
Very
right here.
rude of us.
But yeah, so say Emily, right, is bullying Susie at school. I don't know if Susie can handle it, right? I don't know if Susie's going to be able to take that mentally, but
Susie's not real too.
Susie's not
Sorry,
real.
I'm trying to keep
Susie's
track.
not real.
Okay.
No, fictional people.
Gotcha.
But if Emily then all of a sudden is having more fun bullying me on the internet, have at it, girl. Like, I know I'm okay. And so in a weird way, I kind of look at it as if like I'm saving Susie's life. You know what I mean? Like, I know I can fall asleep and wake up the next day, but I don't know if Susie can.
Wow.
And so if I kind of take, like, I'm down to take the heat
Wow.
off of other people.
When did you figure that out?
That helped me about 2 years ago when I was really going through it. And I was like, fuck the internet, this hurts. But it kind of like, I was like, I can handle it. Some people can't.
What was that moment 2 years ago?
Let me be correct on my timeline. It was, oh my God, it was 2 years ago. Wow. I was going through a public breakup, and it's valid. It was our choice to make the relationship public, and so it was also inevitable that the relationship's breakup was also public. You know what I mean? But the full story wasn't out there. And as fun as it was to throw shade from both ends, I'm guilty of it as well. The real stuff from my end was not out there. What really happened behind closed doors was not out there. And I did that because I don't need to, right? That doesn't need to be out there. I'm not on this earth to take anyone down. I'm not on this earth to be the super inspirational, whatever. I'm on this earth to entertain and have a good time and make people laugh through an 8-second video or a 3-minute song. You know what I mean? And so it got to a point where I was like, I don't want the real stuff out there because what happened to me actually hurts, right? And I don't like it, and I don't want it to be public knowledge. But also people don't know what happened, and they're destroying me because of what they don't know. And I don't know, it really got to me. Also, just like thinking that I could let somebody so into my life and then they could do something so horrid. It really scared me, and it put me in a very weird place. But then I was like, no, I'm good. Like, I can handle it, but some people can't. Like, and I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I'm fine. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of just live by like an I'm fine mentality. Like, you're fine. Yeah. The world's literally gonna keep on turning. You're literally gonna keep on living. You're all is gonna be good.
This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by Built Rewards. PSA for anyone who rents. If you haven't heard of Built, you're about to thank me. Earning points on rent is now a reality when you pay your rent through Built. One of your biggest investments should obviously get you more than just a roof over your head. We earn points on groceries, travel, and practically everything else we buy. But we should also be earning points on rent, one of our biggest monthly expenses. It only makes sense. Built changed the game by letting renters earn high-value points on rent and around their neighborhood. You don't even have to check with your landlord to start earning points that you can use towards flights, hotel stays, fitness classes, and even your next rent payment. How easy is that? Let me break it down for you. There's no cost to join Built, and as a member, you'll earn valuable points on rent and on your everyday spending. Built points can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, and even the ones you haven't heard of. There are over 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties around the world you can redeem your Built points toward. Points can be redeemed towards a future rent payment and unique experiences that only Built members can access. So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, why not? Start earning points on rent you're already paying by going to joinbuilt.com/goodguys. That's JOINBILT.com/goodguys. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/goodguys to start earning points on your rent payments today. This episode of the Good Guys podcast is brought to you by Fatty 15. Folks, 2025, it's going to be an amazing year, but we're a year older. We're a year older. I'm not going to lie. As young as I am, I feel a little bit old. And Fatty 15 is here to help us with that feeling. I'm so excited to share with you guys C15 from Fatty 15. The first essential fatty acid to be discovered in more than 90 years is an incredible scientific breakthrough to support our long-term health, wellness, and you guessed it, aging and longevity. Fatty 15 co-founder Stephanie Van Watson discovered the benefits of C15 while working with the U.S. Navy to continually improve the health and welfare of aging dolphins. How cool is that? Based on over 100 studies, we now know that C15 strengthens our cells and is a key longevity-enhancing nutrient, which helps to slow biological aging at the cellular level. In fact, when our cells don't have enough C15, they become fragile and age faster. And when our cells age, our bodies age too. This eventually led to studies finding the first new nutritional deficiency in 75 years called cellular fragility syndrome, caused by a lack of essential fatty acid C15. As many as 1 in 3 people worldwide may have low C15 levels and cellular fragility syndrome. So folks, Fatty 15 is on a mission to optimize your C15 levels to help you live healthier and longer. You can get an additional 15% off their 90-day subscription starter kit by going to fatty15.com/goodguys and using code goodguys at checkout. Are you a religious person? You sound religious.
Thank you. I think that's a compliment. I'll take it.
Yeah. It is a compliment because I consider myself religious.
You do consider,
like in the way that you speak about like the like juxtaposition of you and your audience, the way that you speak about the world keeps turning, but things are larger than me. Like are you a religious person?
I mean, yeah, I grew up in the church. As I got older, I just kind of like lost touch a little bit.
Sure.
And I think as people do, and as I also think the world is just a very different place. And I also think growing up in Nebraska, you know what I mean? You're surrounded. What do you do on a Sunday? You go to church. But then I think you're, you know, a 21-year-old living in LA. What do you do on a Sunday? That's when you have all your Zoom meetings. You know what I mean? It's like,
Sure.
it's just a different world that I live in now. But I think that one of the most important things to me is like, whatever you believe in it full-heartedly. And like I do this thing with my dancers before we go on stage, where I grab everyone's hands and we say our little mantras and whatever. But then I tell them, I say, look, I don't care what you believe in, but you believe in it right now. Said if it is your rocks and crystals, and if it is God and Jesus, if it is a Buddha, if it is nothing, if it is anything, if it is Santa Claus, you believe in it right now and you ask it for help and you ask it to get you through this performance and have fun. And so I think for me, when it comes to like religion specifically within myself, it's yeah, like I of course have my beliefs, but I also just like, I think one of the most important things is just letting people do their thing. Yeah.
I think that's the right way to be, and
I also love like learning about other people's, like, because religious can mean two things, right? Like religious can sometimes mean like straight up, do you believe in God and Jesus, or just like, do you have something that you believe in, like, and you believe in wholeheartedly?
Totally.
And like one of my favorite things is to like learn other people's religions, and like learning. I had a Mormon boyfriend for a time.
ooh, what was that like?
And
Secret
like-
pajamas? Tell us everything.
Like, but I mean, look, we were babies. It was very cute. It was a very sweet, innocent relationship. He was a very good family friend at the time. He was my first boyfriend. It was adorable.
Wow. What are we talking, like teenager, like 16?
I was 17. We were babies, like nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, right?
I'm just getting like, you know, Salt Lake City vibes right now, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, he did some with a baby.
I just love it. Bring him young.
Yeah,
Shout out.
yeah. He was a sweet boy, and it was cute. Like it was, but to learn about what they believe in and to learn about where they think you go when you die, like it was fascinating to me. And same thing with learning about Jewish religion, and obviously like I have a Catholic background, and so learning about that growing up, and then learning about atheists, and then learning about people with rocks and crystals, like it just like, it's so fascinating to me. And it's like, you gotta be careful because it's obviously a very touchy subject, but I think if you can have a conversation where you're curious to learn with somebody, it can actually be one of the most beautiful conversations. Like the simple question of like, what do you think happens when we die? Like,
Yeah.
everyone has a different answer, and it's so fascinating.
It's just hysterical.
And no one knows, which is what I love the most.
I literally
Like,
said out loud to my best friend the other day, I was like, not asking for it to happen, can't wait to die.
Clip it.
Literally clip it. But like,
no, I'm
like,
with you. It is
title.
the biggest
can't wait.
secret.
Jojo Siwa, can't wait to die. Boom. And you know what I have to say to that? Thank you.
Do you have a confetti gun?
No, but like, hear me out. Like, I'm so curious. Like,
Me
and
too.
I don't want to know anytime soon. I'm good. I don't need to. I'm good. I'm fine to find that one out in 90 years from now. Like, let me live till 111. That's great. But what happens?
I heard something
Also,
recently.
who's
that,
right?
I heard something recently. I don't know who's right, but I heard something recently that like people used to see ghosts a lot. I don't know if you've seen a ghost recently. I haven't, and they're saying that it's because the afterlife is so good and here is so not good that
That
people
they're like,
don't want to come
"Deuces."
back anymore.
Look, I will say, whatever you believe in or whatever you don't, there is something. And I would stand my ground on this. I recently have had some experiences. I did. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention this yet, but it's already done. So if they filmed it, we filmed it already, so it doesn't really matter that much. But I did an episode of Tyler Henry, and I got to talk to Tyler Henry.
Friend of the pod.
There you go. And he sat down. We brought objects we were trying to connect to my grandma on my mom's side, and we brought one object to my grandpa on my dad's side, and he immediately grabbed that object and he picked it up and he started scribbling, and he said, "Does the name Joan or Mary mean anything to you?" And we just started instantly crying, because it wasn't like, oh, I'm getting an older man, or oh, Joan is my grandma who's still left on earth. That was the first thing he said. And Mary is my grandpa's younger brother who also passed away, wife who's still on earth. And it was like my grandpa and his brother were like, hey, we want to say hi to Joan and Mary. Like, clock it. There we go. Boom, bam. And it was like, it was literally like, there's no way he would have known those names. There's no way he even was like, I'm getting a J name. Like, yeah, sure, my mom's name's Jess. I'm Jojo. My brother's Jaden. Sure, there's probably another J name in our family, right? Sure. It was like, it was so spot on. It was so clarifying. And then even just recently, I have a very good friend whose best friend passed away, and it was his 32nd birthday. And I was like, I'm gonna go get. It was the friend who passed away birthday, and I was like, I'm gonna go get candles to give you a little surprise. But it was all a surprise, so I didn't tell them. So anyways, I'm going to the store, and I'm in the store, and I walk down the aisle, and I never met this friend who passed away. And I'm in the aisle, and like we have this joke that like that friend like literally brought us together, and all of a sudden I'm in the aisle, and the I need candles, let's say 3 and 2, and the row of candles literally goes 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. It's like, really? Wow. The 3 and the 2 are what's missing?
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Like there's no, and I literally said out loud, I was like, good one. I was like, good one. I see you in here with me. You're testing me right now, and this is good. Like, this is a good one. Like, I've definitely had some like, there's for sure an afterlife sort of experiences, and I'm selfishly so excited to mess with people. Like, be prepared. Y'all will be pranked, Boots. Like, everybody in my life.
I love it. I will not. If there's an afterlife, I don't want nothing to do with this world anymore. I am going to be
like,
so busy.
Ya.
For me, an afterlife is like everyone has just Ozempic already injected.
Perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, there's a resting Ozempic, and it's just access to like 5-course meals, and you get to talk to whomever you want.
Unlimited cows.
There's a great Yiddish word, as I'm sure you know, Jojo. It's called kibbutz. Okay?
Never heard.
And it's just a schmooze. It's just a fun little... What we're doing now, we're kibitzing.
We're kibitzing.
It's a nonstop kibitz. Say it again, kibitz.
Kibitz.
I love it.
Very
That
good.
Sounds so good. It
Very
sounds like
good.
dog food. You know, my
Yeah.
Cocker Spaniel eats kibitz. But I think kibitzing and being thin is my dream.
We all have
Period.
one. I'm happy that that's yours.
Period.
Full stop. In Australia, they call a period a full stop.
Full stop,
That doesn't
mate.
make it's full stop.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you put a full stop at the end of that.
My
talk
son,
British.
who's 2, goes, nar. Nar.
Keep him Australian. Nar.
I think because he watches a lot of Bluey. But
For sure.
Yes.
For sure. Nar.
Nar.
That's interesting. Bluey is going to have like such a,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Peppa
impact.
Pig.
yeah, thank God.
God bless them.
Their accents are the best.
I'm always fascinated with someone, because we both came out of Nickelodeon, obviously,
Yep.
and like,
Both of our cheeky little smirks at each other right now. We're like,
I'm sorry.
I'm sure without
we
cameras in
need
the
a
room,
handshake.
we could have a conversation.
Oh my God. And we can't do it here.
Nope, we can't.
Yeah.
You could.
If we never want to see life again, if we want that death ticket,
I know.
By the way, the afterlife is great. Why not?
we're going to go find our unlimited Ozempic path right now.
Could you imagine yourself as like a telepreacher? You could have a mega church.
I was thinking the same
mean-
thing when I said that you sounded religious, again in a good way, because I'm religious and I think it's a great thing to believe in something, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I was thinking rock star megachurch, writing some church
like,
songs and making
will
it the
have
Church of
something for
Jojo
sure.
Siwa.
Yeah,
I love
Reverend
it.
Sure.
Siwa, Minister Jojo.
Like,
I love it.
I like that.
what's up, heaven?
Yeah.
Get ready for our special guest of the night. Please welcome the man himself, Jesus Christ.
That would be incredible. I'll play
Sick.
Jesus. He was Jewish.
Sick.
Yeah, shout out my apostles.
Judas by Lady Gaga starts playing.
Yes. Oh, Big Gay Church? That's what you call it, Big Gay Church.
Big Gay Church.
I love it.
BGC.
BGC. What, are
Love
you
it.
in? You in?
I'm in. I'm all in.
I'm in. I've already been in. The internet's been saying I've been in for years.
Can't wait.
And this is where I come out. No.
Thank God. Welcome.
It's so good to be here. Speaking of that, Love Life, you said is great.
Yeah.
Want to talk more? Talk less about it? We don't have to.
No, I'm honestly just so content.
Yes.
I think it's such a good word, and I'm so patient right now, which is very rare for me. So I'm very happy to be so content and so curious. I think is another good word. Just curious, content, happy.
Just like meeting cool people.
Yeah,
and-
just
Interesting.
like, I feel like I'm frolicking. Just like, I feel so angelic and just like frolicking through and like.
With how hard you work, is there room for a Mrs. Siwa?
It's interesting because actually, yeah, like there's because also too I'm in charge of myself, so thank God I'm super self-disciplined. But like, yeah, I honestly have a lot of time that I can dedicate to my personal life because my career is so much, but I know how to do it like no other. Someone once told me it's really hard work, but we're really good at it, and it's like it's so true.
And did you say before, like what if you met someone who was like, I love you, but I also love being a paralegal? Sorry. I love being a pharmacy tech at CVS, and I can't go on tour with you because it's, it's Z-Pack season.
Yeah, I had a best friend who I definitely had feelings for. She had feelings for me. It was very mutual. We had a conversation, and she is very hard because I felt very hard for this person. And now like I'm no offense, super happy it didn't work out because I'm in a way better spot now. But at the time it was really hard and crushed me because she was very honest with me. Like, look, yes, I have feelings for you. Yes, I might even be in love with you, but I can't do your life. And it crushed me because I was like, fuck. Like, it almost got me thinking like, if she can't, no one can. Yeah. But then I realized, like, look, life is gonna life. The world's gonna do what the world's gonna do. And yeah, it's a very real thing. And dating me, there's a lot that comes with it. There's the part where it's like you're dating the me that everybody sees, but then B, you're getting the part of me that nobody gets to see. But then C, you have to deal with the people that think you're dating the person they know, but you also have to convince yourself that you know another side, but not everybody gets to know that. So it's very trippy. It's like
you talked about how you in your past relationship from a few years ago, like you chose to be public.
Yeah.
And so, you took on whatever that sort of added element was. But being as well known and famous as you are,
right,
and prolific.
Right.
Is there any version where you could have a private relationship?
You would think, but the paparazzi will always get you. And
right,
that's a conversation that I have very early on, right? And it's look, listen, we can keep this as private as we can. However, the second we are outside of a hotel room, outside of, honestly, even inside a car is hard. So I would say that outside a hotel room or outside a house, like, if you hold my hand, if you put your hand on my leg, if you look at me a certain way, not only paparazzi, but there's just going to be people everywhere videoing, and it's going to get out, and the world moves quick. And so it's just kind of a thing to be aware of with people in my life. And I always say, look, like, I'm used to having a very public life. I'm used to everything being aired out, everything being out there, and it doesn't get to me. But on this, I'll follow your lead, because if something gets out, I want you to be a part of it getting out, but I also want you to know, like, this will happen. And it's tough. It's tough because it's like you might just be first getting to know somebody, and then all of a sudden it's out there everywhere. You know what I mean? Or you might just be out with a friend having a good time, and people might be like, oh my God, new love. You know what I mean? And it's definitely hard, but I'm very lucky that most people that I have been in a relationship with have actually, like, had beautiful souls. Of course, I've had a couple of fouls, but you have to have the bad to have the good. And I think that I've definitely rounded a corner, which I'm very happy about. And I don't think I want to ever exploit a relationship. Like, that's not for me anymore. That was for me 2 years ago, and that was crazy.
Right.
But I think private, not secret, is my vibe now.
Love that.
Love it. Me too.
It's intense. It's so intense. And those are very tough conversations to have with somebody. Like, it's, how do you talk about that? And it's like, I also hate talking about myself as if I'm famous, especially when it's like with a partner, but it's like, you kind of have to in a weird way. They're not easy conversations to have, but with the right person, they are very worth it to have.
I mean, you're talking to two guys that have been married forever with their spouses, like found the loves of their lives, are very happy and lucky. And like the way that you're saying it, you're going about it the right way, and you'll find the right person. It's definitely like a you gotta weed out the bad to find the good. But
That.
I think that approaching it the way that you are is the only way you can do it.
Thank
and like
you.
if somebody doesn't appreciate the whole you, then they're the wrong
Thank you.
person. So
Thank you.
yeah.
What
Yeah.
in those moments, like for me,
That's my joke. I'm like, you get two of me, and you have to like them both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, I didn't
You
mean to
get
cut you
two. You get two of Josh too. He has multiple personality disorder.
Yes, I got my own Emily over here.
Yeah, no, I'm literally like, hopefully you're to fucking monogamy or poly because there's literally 4 of me.
Would you be
You'll
down
see.
for poly?
You'll see
No.
Josh.
Solid.
No, but
You'll
there's-
see
it's
Josh on the street kibitzing with himself.
literally. But if somebody else is, there's literally 3 of me that I can give you. So like, be my guest.
Totally. Yeah.
One shell, 3 people.
I'm not pro poly either. I don't see it for myself.
It's definitely for others, and I can see where it is
And
for
respect,
others.
respect
And respect
to
do your
their
biggest
journey.
Definitely too jealous of a person.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah.
No,
I
no
just-
way.
But I will say poly and monogamy have a difference. And that's actually a fascinating difference to learn about. And I think that like, I don't know, I think for me it's very important that like the love and the commitment is 1-to-1. I think that to me, and like, I don't know, I'm very, that's for me, right? Like that's for me. But then monogamy versus non-monogamy, it's something I'm a little more loose on. Like it's just kind of like, I'm not into it. I don't want to, but learning about it, I'm like, it's kind of cool that you can kind of experience whatever you want to experience, but you always end up coming back home. Like I don't,
Like go out, have a romantic interlude.
like do your big one, but then like come home to me. Like that.
You think you could be okay with someone you were dating doing that?
Yeah.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, it's definitely a hot take for sure, but I think the thing that's important to me is that like love and commitment. And I think because I'm a lesbian, that's way more emotional than it is physical. And yeah, I don't know. I think with the right person, anything can kind of be right. You know what I mean?
As long as my wife didn't hook up with anyone from the Disney Channel,
All good.
you know, like
All good.
no like enemies. But other than that, no, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
all good. If it's a Nick kid, fine. Well, never mind, I'm not gonna ask that.
Finish that thought.
What would you do if you found out your wife hooked up with a co-star?
I mean, that's so. Oh my god.
With
Oh my God. Let me think about some of my co-stars
Josh,
recently.
With Helen.
with Miranda.
Yeah.
Paige and Miranda. That'd be great.
What would you do if Paige came to you and she was like, "Hey, like, I've been having gay thoughts about Miranda."
Oh my God. I can't. First of all, clip it. Secondly, it'd be too. Miranda's like my sister.
Yeah, but she's beautiful.
She's a beautiful person.
She's hot.
You've literally grown up together.
I know.
That part I
And,
could
like,
not handle.
But
at
what
all.
if Paige was like,
I don't
"Look."
want to hear it from my wife. I don't want to hear it from Little Pump. Shout out Little Pump. He could probably beat me up. But I don't like to hear anybody making passes at my Miranda. Like I just wanted to find a
What's
nice
y'all's
person.
age gap?
7, 8 years.
Okay.
I think she's 31, 7. But I was 14. She was 8 when she started on the show.
Wow.
So I just feel
Oh, y'all
very
were
protective.
babies.
Yeah.
I thought you were a little older.
I started on Amanda's show when I was 13.
Wow.
Yeah. Insane.
Wait, I like this game. What if Paige like really wanted to have like a romantic encounter with Crazy Steve?
That I'm here for. He is a tall drink of water. That I get. I cannot give her that.
How old were you when Drake and Josh Drake and Josh ended?
19.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And we only made 60 episodes, but because there's no residuals, they can rerun it forever. And I think that's why people feel like it's just like we did 200
Yeah.
because they've just seen it so much.
That's wild.
It's wild. It was a
That's
time.
wild. Y'all were always on in my house.
Jojo,
Always.
Same.
Yeah.
too good to me.
It's crazy because like that's something that's so surreal to me now growing up and like having friends like you, having friends like Raven. I could never call myself friends with Miley, but I've met Miley. I watched a rehearsal of hers. I've talked to her.
She's
Like
incredible.
Like that's actually Miranda was one of the first people too that came up to me and was like, oh my God, you're Jojo Siwa, I love you. Like, she was one of those first people.
She's the best.
She's the best, sweetest angel. But like, growing up watching y'all create like literally my childhood, and then like now being older and like there's like 8-year-old me is like, what the literal what the fuck, like, hello, like, it's like, it's so surreal. It's really cool. I think that all the time when I'm with Raven. I'm like, you're literally my best friend, but also like, I remember waking up scared because like I saw your eye in the middle of the night on my TV. Like, hello, like, yeah.
Raven is the greatest.
Yeah,
And
we love them.
When you get Raven with like a drink and a half in her,
Fucking best.
no one can shit talk like Raven Simone.
I love Raven. Ugh.
She is the greatest.
Like, just
ever.
hilarious.
I remember once we grew up we lived in a similar apartment complex in North Hollywood
Yep.
when we were kids. And we went out for sushi one day, and she was like, have you ever had fried matcha tea ice cream? Tempura matcha tea ice cream?
Guaranteed she has.
And I was like, no, I haven't, Raven. She's like, let me turn you on to something that's going to change your life. And we just shared a tempura ice cream.
Was it good?
It
Yum.
was a game changer. It was so...
One thing about Raven is Raven will never tell a lie.
Oh, God, love her.
Yep.
Is there ever things that you see of like the next gen of like kid stars where you're just like, be careful, like as far as just getting too hyped on themselves or any
Yes.
of those pitfalls?
Yeah, all the time. I also like, because I think a lot of kid stars now are coming from social media, right? And so it's like, what's that going to look like in 10 years? We don't know. But even just working closely with kids, like I have a lot of friends that have kids, or a lot of friends that are kids, just because over the years we've worked together and they're great and they're fun and whatever. And like there's kids like a little girl named Everly, 2 twins, Tatum and Oakley, and I don't know Halston as well, but I knew Tatum and Oakley very well. There's a little boy named Titus, and all of those kids, it's like anytime I've worked with them, I've been like, yes, like you got it, like you are not only so entertaining and so likable, but you also have it. Like whatever said it is, whether that be the passion behind it, whether that be the supportive family, like whatever the concoction is to make it work, you have it. And then I've been around some other kids where I'm like, stop working immediately, go to school, like find a firefighter academy, like anything but this. And
get out.
That's a very hard thing because like, you can't tell the parent that, right? You can't, but you just have to trust that like the world is gonna world and like the kid will find the right path. And I always make it very clear to any kid that I ever work with, like, look, if you ever need a helping hand out, I got you. You know what I mean? Like if you ever need, because I think that's one thing, and I didn't want the out, but I think I didn't really realize that when I turned 18, I could have said, I'm done. I want to go be a nurse. You know what I mean? I could have if I wanted to. And like, I didn't understand that I could have. I didn't want to. I don't want to.
I couldn't identify more with what you're saying.
Yeah. It's like now that you're older, you're like, oh my God, I literally could have.
100%.
But in the moment, you're like, no, I can't. I have to keep going. Like,
But no need to answer if you don't want to. Also, like, I supported my family.
Yeah.
So if I at 18 said,
See
bye,
ya.
Mom, then she was older. She was in her 60s. She would have had to figure out.
how to live again.
Yeah.
And it's tough because it's like, I think when you're in that position, you can't see that decision would be okay.
That's right.
Right? But when you're out of that position, you can look in hindsight and be like, okay, no, like we could have had money to live off of while everyone found a job, and like maybe we wouldn't have been living lavish with the millions, but like we would have been able to put food on the table if you would have gone to work, you know what I mean? Or if you would have figured it out, or even go into investments or remote work, or there's options, right? But I think that when you're so in it, you don't see that. And so that's why like one of those conversations that, and I haven't had to have them yet with the kids because they're very young yet. I mean, Everly's 10, Titus is maybe 9, Tatum and Oakley are 8. Like they're all really little. But when they are 15, 16, 17, like I will make sure that I have those conversations with them being like, look, in your position that you are in right now, you can leave it in your childhood. And like it was also your parents' choice to quit their life for you. And so now it's going to have to be your choice to decide if they have to go back to that. In hindsight, like for you, right? 13 years, right? You were 13 years old.
Yeah.
In hindsight, it was 5 years essentially that their life was dedicated to you. You know what I mean? It can correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah.
But like, they made their living before then, they can go back to it after then. But in it, you don't see that. You don't see that at all. Like, I didn't see that. My mom could have gone back to being a dance teacher. My dad could have gone back to being a chiropractor, and like all good.
And that people in a good way will move on from you.
Yes.
Like,
that's what I didn't see either. I thought I realized like if I would have just turned 18 and like gone away and like literally stopped and left it in my childhood, people wouldn't bug me in Target. You know what I mean? And it's like,
right.
You think like, oh, that'll never happen, but like, no, it will. But where I'm lucky is like, I want it. Like, I want to keep going. Like, it's my passion. It's what I love to do. But I think that it's important for the people to know if it's not your passion, you can literally leave it.
I also sometimes when people ask, because they always love to ask that question, you know, especially because I have kids, like, would you want them to get into the business?
Yeah.
And I always say, you know, I think if they enjoy performing, they should go to every acting class and do every school play and do it. You know, I'll support their passion no matter what.
Yeah.
But the difference between starting at 13 and at even 17 is 4 years. But if you start at 17, you're not a kid actor.
Right.
You're just basically a grown-up.
Yeah.
And people won't look at you with that moniker, which can be a little bit of like a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like, I think any life path has its pros and has its cons, right?
Totally.
You look at some child stars, look that when they started as a baby, right? Some child stars, Raven is a great example. Raven started, she's fucking 6 months old, like baby. She doesn't know anything else. And then you look at some that started, I mean, I started when I was 9, you started when you were 13, and there are some that start when they're, you know what I mean? Like, it's someone, like artist-wise, like Chapel Roan, right?
Yeah.
She started making music 10 years ago. Megan actually is a better example because I can talk highly of Megan Trainor, and I'm knowledgeable in Megan Trainor's world. Like, All About That Bass came out when Megan Trainor was 19.
Jeez.
Like, that's when she rose to fame. You know what I mean? And so it's like interesting, like what age makes a difference. And I think for me, honestly, fame is so much easier because I was a child star. And like, I kind of grew slowly. I think if I actually, in my case, if I had a whole life before, just say Karma came out, I would be like, what the fuck is this? I can't handle people being mean to me. I can't handle this. Why is everyone looking at me? Why are people wearing my makeup? Like, but because people wore my bows, it makes sense why people wear my makeup. You know what I mean? Like, it all... And like my friend Tyler Cameron, who's like literally my family, he always says like because he grew to fame when he was mid-20s. And he had a full normal life before then. And he's like, you navigate being a 21-year-old really well publicly. Like, these are your years where you're supposed to be a train wreck, and like you actually handle it really well. And so like it's kind of interesting to like.
Tyler's the best.
Y'all know Tyler?
We do. We're really close with him. That's our connection. Tyler's the best.
He's literally the best.
I'm literally sitting here. I just want you guys to know, listening to the best podcast ever. Like that last 10 minutes, I was just like like in the audience and like listening to the Inside Baseball. Like sometimes it doesn't translate. Like we've had guests where it doesn't. Like that was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
And like it's just such like a unique perspective. Like you don't realize that you can get out, and like as people that aren't child stars, like we decide what we want to be when we're 18.
That's
like,
another interesting thing.
Or really when we're 22. Like if you go to school, you have so much time to figure it out. But there is a benefit of being thrusted into something also. Like you sort of had, if you can see it that way, you had an opportunity to have a career before anybody even started thinking about having a career and trying things.
And I'm also specifically to me, and not to talk about me, but I'm a very unique case. Like the more you get to know me, the more you're like, yo, your brain's being studied when you kick the can. Like, cause what is different in there? Like it's something that I don't try to like prove to people that my brain's different, but it does work in very different ways. Like even back in the day when I did go to school, like I used to like buy, this started when I was in like 6th grade. I would buy 6th grade, right? It was an online program. And I would click the first math lesson and I would like scan the lesson and be like, okay, I'll figure it out. And I'd go to the questions and I'd get 100%. So then I'd jump and I'd do like the 6th lesson. I'd go from 1 to 6. And then I would just go straight to the questions and I would know how to do it. And then I would be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna try to take the end of the year test and like see if I can pass. And I would know how to do it all. Like it was very strange. So then I would buy 7th grade and then 8th grade, and then that's how I graduated so early. Is I just kind of like breezed through it all, which is like crazy. Like I definitely though now like knowing people and like having a girlfriend at the time who was in high school when I should have been in high school, but I was already graduated. She did this math problem, and she was like, answer this, and she tried to make a really hard Albert Einstein problem. And I did it. And she was like, how'd you get that answer? And I was like, well, I just did. Like, I don't know. And she was like, well, show me your work. And I was like, I mean, no. And she was like, well, that's what you have to do. And I was like, okay, well, fine, okay. So I showed her how I did it. And she was like, I've never seen someone solve a math problem like that. And I was like, but did I get the answer? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, great. Can we move on with our life? And she was like, yeah. Like, it was a very strange conversation. And that's kind of like my work mentality too. Like, it's very different, but in like I guess a good sort of way.
Can you imagine JoJo in a remake of Good Will Hunting?
Oh, I love it.
Doing the equation.
No, you're robbing.
I'm optioning it
You're robbing.
right now. I'm a producer. Don't boot me from being a producer,
Got
JoJo.
you. I mean, look, it was your idea, so I can't take it from you.
We all heard it here. Okay, so our final segment is called What Are You Nuts? Ben and I will start. We'll give you time to think. Our What Are You Nuts moment of the week are gripes with people, places, and things. Things big or small, whatever's sticking in your craw. Anything dumb, huge, or anything in the middle that's just like, what are you nuts? Like, it just makes
usually funny. Like, they're lighthearted. You can take it wherever you want.
We'll give you an example.
What are you nuts?
Yeah. So like something in life that makes you want to say, what are you nuts?
You're walking down the
what
street.
Are you nuts? Like,
yeah, what are you?
Are you a psychopath?
Nuts?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So
Straight people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Nuts.
Finally, someone said it.
Okay, give me your examples and then I'll think.
Okay, so I'll go first. So I was in an Uber recently, and the guy was just drenched in cologne. And I'm sure you've gotten into a car like this before where the driver is just wearing so much cologne. And it got me thinking to myself, like, why are you wearing cologne? Are you trying to make out with me? Like, are you trying to make a pass at me, the passenger?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I don't understand why you're wearing cologne. Is it, like, what is the purpose? Like, I can't breathe back here. And like, the purpose of cologne is to like send a signal to somebody. So I don't get it. What are you, nuts? Stop wearing the cologne. If you need to, you can take a shower. That's totally up to you. But dousing yourself in cologne is not good for me. It's not good for you. It's nuts.
What are you nuts?
It's a confined space. I don't need to choke on your cologne.
My What Are You Nuts moment of the week is me, What Are You Nuts? And when I am nuts, it's always good. I don't mean to brag, I have a membership to Sky Zone Trampoline Park.
Of course
for me
you
and
do.
my son.
For you.
I'm doing well. I don't want to talk about it. And so we go there. And of course, we have our own socks with the stickies on the bottom.
Absolutely.
We're regulars. And so we forgot them. So we went. And I said, what kind of price gouging are these people going to do now?
Yeah.
I said, this is where they make their money.
Oh,
I
God.
go in and I say, yes, I'm going to need 2 sets of socks for my son and I. And they go, oh, no problem. Those will be $18. Okay. Maybe 14. I'm not
Each?
sure. 18 sounded better.
Each or
No,
total?
for 2 pairs.
Okay.
But these are like throwaway, like, you can't use them. Right. You can't reuse them.
It's not that bad.
It's like you're either in the mental hospital or you're in Sky Zone.
not
There's
sit
no
well with
other
me.
place to use sticky socks.
100%. So I'm like, this is nuts. And I was like, and so I'm giving a whole dissertation to the woman behind the counter. I said, they really price gouge with you. This is how they get you.
Yeah.
And they know you're going to forget. They know it. So she goes, yeah. So I buy the socks, and then all of a sudden I hear on the announcement as we're like, playing like trampoline dodgeball, all socks revenue is going to the St. Jude's Charity for Children. In all of December. What am I, nuts? Sky Zone's an incredible company. I'm an idiot. Shout out St. Jude's.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. That's really good. That's funny. That's really good.
You got one? It can be really minor. Straight people's pretty
Straight
good.
people was a good
I
one.
mean,
Yeah.
It's amazing. If you want to elaborate, you can.
Straight people, straight sex. Okay. No, actually, I do have one. This is to actually the first gay person. I don't know who you are. I don't know when you were. I don't know where you're from. But I want to know who was the first person to look at the same sex and be like, let's try this. That's nuts. What are you nuts? like think about it.
Yeah.
Somebody for the first time, and like, yes, hit me with the technicals. Like, animals haven't gay before. Yes. Hit me with the technical. Like, who knows how humans were even developed? There might have been 2 females first. Like, who knows? Yes. But like, just stick with me here. Just say there's a man and a woman for the first time. They have a kid. Or the kids have kids. Like, we're all just whatever, somehow related. But who was the first person that was like, I got an idea? Or, this is so bad. This is so bad. Who was the first person that was like, I wonder what that tastes like? What are you nuts?
Yeah.
Isn't that
No,
nuts?
the firsts are all nuts. I think about this all the time.
Like,
the first
the
person
first-
that ever found out that you could drink cow's milk, what, he just put his mouth on the udder?
Nuts.
For fun?
Or like,
Nuts.
go simple. First person that decided you can eat an apple, but you have to peel an orange. Who was the first person that bit into an orange? A fucking nutso.
Yes.
A
Yes,
nutso.
Jojo. Nuts.
Spectacular. What a showing.
Absolutely
so
well
nuts.
done.
Jojo, what can you plug? Anything to plug on this enormous podcast?
Do we know when it's coming out?
In the new year.
January 6th.
Oh, fun. Okay, so yeah, new music's coming out. Might be doing a really fun TV show in April. Stay tuned. Hopefully that happens. And if it doesn't, it's all good. We'll be doing music then instead. I'm going to have a really fun announcement having something to do with live shows very soon.
Ooh.
Oh my God, there's so much. It's all music based. So, follow me everywhere. It's Jojo Siwa. Hearing me talk about how nuts people doing things for the first time doesn't make you want to follow me anywhere. But in case it does, follow me everywhere.
You're the best.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you guys.
You are the best. This episode is 5 stars. Otherwise, what are you nuts? Listen to us on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Watch us on Josh's YouTube. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Mondays and Thursdays, folks. The great Jojo Siwa. We will see you next time.
Love y'all. Thank you.